Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Asia Society. We have a very, very, very special event for today, and it's so special that I am beyond words. So I'll be very brief. This is truly an extraordinary privilege to have Lang Lang and his disciples here to perform and to engage in a conversation just for Asia Society family members and WildAid family members. So thank you, first of all, to WildAid for collaborating with us, Asia Society, in particular Orville and his team at the Center for U.S China Relations in making this evening happen. WildAid is an organization dedicated to saving wildlife that is threatened by human activities. And Lang Lang is one of their goodwill ambassadors. So as Lang Lang is a towering figure in the world of classical music performance, he is also very generous in sharing his time and talent for global causes. In anticipation of this evening, I, of course, had to check out what some of his recent performances were. So I went to YouTube, and I discovered that he recently provided the piano accompaniment to a performance by Rosé. Do you know who that is? The recent K-pop sensation that has hit stardom with her hit song Apatu. But it was so heartwarming to see Lang Lang providing the piano accompaniment, just indicating his generosity and virtuosity of spirit. So with that, with huge amount of thanks for him being here, and huge amount of thanks to the WildAid Foundation for collaborating with us to bring him here. So without further ado, Meaghan Brosnan of WildAid.
Thank you, Dr. Kang. It's a true honor to share a stage with you. And huge, huge thanks to the Asia Society for hosting us at this amazing location. So at WildAid, we have a saying, the biggest opportunity for change on earth is us. We believe there is nothing more powerful than giving people, communities, and governments the power to act, to protect wildlife from critical threats. We go straight to the root of the problem, human behavior, let's be honest, and we shift it with our world-class communications campaigns, and I do mean world-class. I mean, heavens, we get to work with high-quality performers like Lang Lang, and our world-renowned and sought-after marine enforcement expertise. I'm a little biased. That's how I came to WildAid. I was in the Coast Guard for 20 years and came here from there. WildAid is a US-based nonprofit organization, and we have been working in China for 25 years to end the illegal wildlife trade, protect habitats, and reduce carbon emissions. You may recognize us from our work with Jackie Chan, Yao Ming, where their campaigns resulted in an 80%, that's 80, reduction in shark fin consumption, and a ban on ivory buying and selling. We continue that work today, tackling key environmental issues such as ending the use of pangolin scales, promoting the transition to lower carbon, more sustainable lifestyles, and of course, supporting marine conservation. Just last year, our special guest Lang Lang lent his music and voice to that campaign. Going forward, we are going to continue to help China to take a leadership role both domestically and abroad on key environmental problems. While China is a focal point for WildAid, we work in 20 other countries worldwide, including several other in Asia. And again, protecting wildlife with our world-class communications campaigns and our marine enforcement expertise. Remember, Individually and collectively, we can affect lasting and meaningful change. The only reason why you all are here today is because you have already joined our collective team. You are already taking action. So thank you. And speaking of teams, one last time, we are so grateful that our longtime campaign ambassador, Long Long, is here tonight to share his inspiration. Thank you, truly.
Well, good evening. It's great you're all here. I'm Orville Schell, and I'm the Arthur Ross Director of the Center in U.S. China Relations. So why are we here? Well, I think Meaghan Brosnan brought to all of our attention the importance of climate change. If you look at this depiction behind, this is the Rumbach Glacier around Mount Everest, and it is melting. And in these glaciers on the Himalayan mountains, every single major river system of Asia, from the Amu Darya in Afghanistan to the Yellow River in China, finds its headwaters in these mountains and in these glaciers. So it's of incomparable importance. So this is part of a series that we've undertaken of concerts, thinking, people just get so depressed by the massive nature of the climate change challenge that they really don't know quite what to do about it. So we thought, let's bring music. Let's at least enrich our souls a bit at the same time that we try to point to what is going on here and what is going on all around the world. So that's the logic of this concert. We've done several others before with the San Francisco Symphony, National Symphony, with the Oxford Bach soloists, and now, God bless Long Long for coming and doing one here, and I hope we do more. 我还要说几句，我觉得看那么多中国人就出来了，参加我们这一次音乐会的活动，就让我觉得特别高兴，所以谢谢大家来。So now I want to introduce you to the incomparable John Blake, who is the Chief Program Officer at WildAid. He's going to say a few words and introduce our artists for this evening. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you, Orville. I'm John Baker, WildAid President and Chief Program Officer. Thank you all again for coming. Thanks especially to Long Long and the Asia Society. As Meaghan mentioned, China has long been a focus for WildAid, and this is our 25th year there. And we've had some great successes, and the successes there have really been thanks to the incredible work of respected Chinese spokespeople who have worked with us to amplify important environmental messages in their own voices. We've been very honored to work with Jackie Chan, Yao Ming, and Long Long over the years, and they have inspired millions to take action for the environment and for wildlife. With their support, we're able to reach over $200 million worth of pro bono media, donated ad space, thanks to our media partners, and highly visible public communications campaigns featuring these iconic figures. It's incomparable to think that an organization, a small, modest nonprofit, could be reaching such a huge audience. And if you want to understand a little bit of what that looks like, just in the last 2 years, we've been running a few campaigns that each have been deployed on almost 1 million billboards each in over 200 cities. Many of them now feature Long Long, and if you have the opportunity in the lobby to take a look at our video screens, you'll see what some of those videos look like. Anyway, tonight it's this very special privilege and honor to have Lang Lang here with us. Lang Lang's worked with us for over 12 years, so we're entering the second cycle together. And he's dedicated his beautiful music and very passionate playing to inspire millions. He's helped us on some of our most pivotal campaigns, elephant ivory, ocean conservation, and climate. And he said it most eloquently in the message we did together on climate, where he said, "The planet is sending us a message. Are you listening? Let's work in concert to protect the earth." And we couldn't have a conversation, a meaningful conversation about climate and environment without including young people. So I'm especially happy that we have with us today two young scholars from the Lang Lang International Music Foundation, Anna Kesselman and Taige Wang, who will be performing together with Lang Lang. And I'd like you all to join me now in welcoming to the stage iconic musician and champion for the earth, Lang Lang.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you, Meaghan. Thank you, Dr. Kang. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be in Asia Society. This is a really great place to gathering culture and to feel the beautiful emotions toward each other. And also, I'm very proud to be an ambassador for WildAid for many years and working on so many projects which make my life a kind of a new open-eye experience. We're very happy to perform and to sending our love through music and the messages through music today to make the world even better place with WildAid. So tonight we have two of our most talented young scholars from our Lang Lang International Music Foundation, which we are here to help the education in music, and hopefully every kid will learn an instrument. So we have Taige and Anna. They will perform something really exciting and beautiful. They actually made some special arrangement for tonight. And then afterward, I will play some music for you, and let's cheer for the great WildAid, and hopefully we will do more projects in the future to help the environment and around the world, of course, in China as well. And as John said, if you go to China, every airport or train stations, you see WildAid posters, with beautiful animals, and it's just so beautiful to see that. So please come, Taige and Anna.
Hello, everyone. I'm Taige, and as a long young scholar, I'm very honored to be able to play here today in this concert organized by WildAid. And I just want to say what WildAid does for the environment is truly inspiring for me, and I'm sure for all of us. So without further ado, the pieces I'm going to be playing, I tried to make as much connections to the environment and nature as possible. So for the first piece, I composed an arrangement of Puccini's opera Turandot. The piece is called Fantasy on the Puccini's Turandot, and I dedicated it to Mr. Lang Lang, so I hope he likes it. Anyways. Yeah, so anyways, The piece, it's based on two themes from the opera. One is the very famous Chinese melody, Jasmine Flower, which Puccini adopted into the opera. And I guess you could make a little bit of a connection here because, you know, a jasmine flower, it's a flower, so yeah. Yeah, and the other melody is the very famous aria Nessun Dorma. And yeah, so I'm trying to, with this piece, make a connection between Eastern and Western culture and music. And I think Long Long is truly the embodiment of that connection. And for the second piece, I'm going to be playing Rachmaninoff's Études-Tableaux, Opus 39, number 6. And I thought a lot about this program today, so I actually asked my teacher about this. And when she told me to play this, I asked her why. And she told me because the nickname is the Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. So I'm sure I'm sure everyone knows this story, so I don't have to explain it any further. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
My name is Anna Kesselman. I'm so incredibly excited, honored, and grateful to be here performing alongside Taige and Mr. Lang Lang here for WildAid. Nature can be so incredibly beautiful and exciting and virtuosic in a lot of the ways that music can. And so that's why today I prepared the polonaise from Chopin's Andante Spianato in Grand Polonaise. I really hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that. And so now we're going to play an arrangement for one piano, four hands that I composed. It's based on themes from Verdi's La Traviata and Strauss's Die Fledermaus. So, yeah. Yeah, and we're also going to play this and some other arrangements in our upcoming gala in September for the Long Line Foundation. So if you would like to, please come and support us. Thank you.
We really hope you enjoy. Thank you very much.
that was a real great combo. Yeah, yeah. You are such a great composer. Yeah, yeah, incredible. Yeah. It's really hard to play after that, you know. Yeah. So, and it was so thought after, you know, if it's flower. You know, I actually wanted to play the jasmine flower, but you did it. So I switched to a lake. Yeah, I switched to lake. So I will play a Chinese piece called Pinghu qiuyue. But in English, it's very long. It's the moon reflection on the lake during the autumn. Yeah, so yeah, it's a very long translation. And then I will play two mazurkas. I think it's also very kind of genuine to the nature. And then I would like to play something with fire, which is the ritual fire dance by Di Faya. You know, I've been asked for like already many times, like what I'm gonna play, but I was thinking, what should I do? And now, you know, I got inspired by my two wonderful tenants. So let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lama, and thank you, John. I'm just wondering, where did you grow up, and where did you first become sort of aware of the natural world around you?
Yeah. So I was born in Shenyang, which is northeast of China, very nice and cold city. We have a very cool winter, and
You're lucky in the climate change world.
yeah. So it's actually makes warmer now. Yeah. So every time I go back, it's not really warmer, but sometimes, yeah. But I had a really wonderful time there, and then I moved to Beijing at the age of 9, which is also pretty cold. Slightly warmer, like 5 degrees. Yeah. And then New York is also not so much better. So, yeah. But I like cold places. Yeah.
But cold,
Not in the winter, but I mean, regularly it's very nice. Yeah.
cold doesn't equal. I'm wondering how you acquired your interest in the natural world
Yes,
and doing
yes.
something for it.
Sure. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't feel so close to the nature because Shenyang was not really, a kind of a field city.
Gritty.
Yeah, it's an industrial city. But my favorite thing was, in the summer, it was catching dragonflies. And so that's kind of my first connection to the nature. So it goes to the park and catching the dragonflies. Yeah. And then the first time I really felt something really unique, it was in Beijing. I also went to the mountain the first time around the Great Wall. As a kid, I enjoyed it very much. And then the real kind of forest, my first experience was in Germany when I was in the competition near Stuttgart. So there's the Black Forest. But then, of course, back to China, we have a lot of beautiful landscape for nature, coastline, the really nice greens, and yeah. But I always love animals since when I was a kid. But I really love animals, but I'm also scared of them. When I was living in Beijing, to keep the rent really cheap, so we rented a underground place. So I was kind of an underground musician, I was practicing. And then the little mouse was eating my score. Yeah, I'm seriously, in the evening I hear, I was like, who's eating? And then the day after, when I was playing Liszt Etude, I look at the score is like cut in, like 20% is cut off. So where are my, so
You're feeding the wildlife.
yeah. So that was my score. The notation was feeding the wild.
That was your Kruger Park moment, your introduction to the wildlife of the world, the mouse.
Yeah, the mouse. Yeah, the mouse. Of course, Tom and Jerry, that helps a lot. Yeah. And then I really love dog, but I'm so scared of dog. So every time you see me come to see a dog, I'm like this. Oh, lovely. Yeah, so I kind of afraid to get bit by by the dog to my hands or something. And then my son was so into the horse recently. He's only 4 years old, and he's feeding the horse with some kind of radish and carrot. And then he does very naturally, and he gave to me. He said, "Hey, you should do that." I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And he said, "Why not? It's so nice." Like I was so afraid to put the carrot into the mouth of a horse. Yeah. And it's, yeah. But I love them. But I did touch the. This is a beautiful animal. We did. We were nurturing them in Wuhan. The
pangolin?
Yes, not the pangolin. It's jiangtun. How is that in English? I know it in Chinese. Yeah, what they called?
Yeah,
Yeah, river dolphin, but it has another name. So I was
Yangtze finless porpoise.
yes, see, finless porpoise. That's why I forgot already. Yeah, and so I was putting my hands, on that. It's beautiful. It's such a
White.
no. They're kind of a grayish. Yeah, very nice. I love the color. It's like the new, it's like everybody loves to use that color for the car these days. This kind of. I think it's inspired by that. Yeah, I mean, so soft and it was beautiful.
Gentle, very
Yeah,
gentle.
very gentle. I mean, my hands are still here. So, yeah. So thank you. Thanks to you. That's really the first experience for me to really touch, this beautiful.
We made a short film with Lang Lang visiting a rehabilitation center for the Yangtze River porpoise, and we tried to tell the story in China of the success of trying to protect these porpoises and link to the story of the vaquita in the Gulf of California, which is disappearing. And Lang Lang was trying to tell that story to the Chinese audience.
Yeah, and then I also, with WildAid, we worked with so many other, like also beautiful, beautiful animals, like of course elephant. I remember like the first day when we were making the first day of kind of illegally like elephant activities in Beijing. I was there, and
He came to the airport.
yeah, this was a very special event. Yeah.
We launched the campaign to prohibit
prohibit,
the illegal trade of ivory with the customs of Beijing airport. And they were very excited to lead the charge. And if you ever went to Beijing airport, during that time, we had billboards of a very famous actor wearing a customs uniform. And I counted when I flew in that time from my gate leaving the plane to when I got in the taxi, I saw 20 billboards.
It's incredible. I know we did this sign.
Anyway,
It's like
Lang Lang went on that afternoon to launch it and paid respects with the airport customs team. They were very happy that he came to show how important their work was. So thank you.
No, my pleasure. It's a great pleasure. Yeah.
Lana, some artists think that music, art, culture should be separate from the world of policy, politics, controversy. How do you look at that?
I mean, yeah, I think it's a good thing that if you are a musician, you should focus on what you do. And I think we're not doing politics. I mean, this is a kind of a willingness to bring world together. So, yeah, I'm not into politics either. For me, but there's one thing very important: we need to unify people's heart, especially in the recent time. So, yeah. And I think we're so lucky to have music, which brings people genuinely. You don't need to force it. It's just kind of boundary with each other. And we're very lucky. And so we have to keep sending messages through music. Yeah.
I wonder if every political discussion in the U.S. Congress was preceded by a movement from a string quartet, if that wouldn't quiet people down a little.
One thing, Lang Dong, if you don't know, he travels all around the world, more than most people I've ever seen, going to every continent. So you meet a lot of people along your travels, and what do you encounter in terms of how people, view environment or caring about the earth?
Most people I met doing the tours, they all very cautious about our environment, and they all very aware of climate change. So I think it's become a very common cause for everyone that I meet, not only in Asia or Europe, but also South America, Australia. I mean, yeah, everywhere. I mean, I was in Central Asia recently. Also, they're really care about the climate change. Yeah, so this become a world issue.
And yet, climate change continues to advance. Governments continue to retreat, at least many of them. It's not such an optimistic scenario of climate change being beaten back.
I like the music connection and bringing people together, because I think there's more in common across different nationalities and countries and people. And we see this in the work we do in China, where maybe from the outside it looks like people don't care as much, but when you meet people on the street, you realize most people want the same thing. They want clean air, they want clean water, they want to see birds and wildlife.
Especially if you're a parent, if you have a kid, you kind of you wanted more on the environmental side for your future, or your grandkid. This is quite important. And it's really happening. It's not illusion. I mean, this is certainly not illusion. So we have to keep working on that.
So what other musicians do you admire who have also taken some time to highlight issues like the environment and climate change? And do you think they could do more?
I mean, there are many great musicians, not only from the classical music genre. I mean, they're into like Daniel Barenboim, he's into certain areas, and they're great pop stars. There are many of them, so that they all have certain charity or environmental cause back in their work. And I think as a classical musician, we try to encourage people to get out from the practice room, to get into, to pay a little bit attention to the real world, and to also contribute their responsibility and way of communication power through music, and to sending those messages to the world. And as John said, there are people, even on the street, they know the problems and they kind of also feel the same. Yeah, but sometimes they don't know how to achieve, where to go to help. Yeah, so that's why it's great for me also, to find a great organization such as WildAid. They have such a clear-minded goals which we can be affiliated to be associated with.
Maybe we ought to make this concert with you and your proteges and students an annual event for climate change.
Thank you for the invitation.
Consider yourself having it.
If I'm in New York, I will try to make it.
I was happy to hear what you said about how you expect to train young classical musicians, and it seems like strong values that you have instilled in the International Music Foundation. I was so impressed with Taige and Anna. So what would be your message, because you're not only here with us, but also you're traveling around the world, and you obviously spend a lot of time back in China. So what's your message for young people?
Obviously, today, one of the challenge is that there's too many things going on in the same time. With also, of course, with the AI world, which sometimes people become very lazy. You can just ask any questions and somebody will answer for you. So I would say that if we can be more, especially from the younger generation, to be focused on what they love the most, whether it's making music or sports or anything, fashion, anything. But I really hope that they will keep working hard on that thing which they love the most and to achieve it. Not like when we're doing, when we're practicing Beethoven, and there's another game they're going to play. It's hard to concentrate these days, and so that's the message I'd like to send out. And of course, that we should care about our nature, and the more we're into the high-tech world, the more we should care our roots, and this is keep us as a human being. The ground, the earth, and the animals around us, and the nature. Yeah, we should love our planet. If we don't love our planet, nobody will love us in the future.
Well, when we finish here, we invite you all to come upstairs and have a reception and something to eat. But before we leave, let me ask maybe one final question, Lang. Are you optimistic about the ability of mankind to get a handle on some of the challenges that we face in the natural world?
In general, I'm kind of positive about it, but we have to work on it. It doesn't come naturally. Yeah, and it's just we have to send out messages very frequently, and we have to inspire people. Yeah.
John, you're in the trenches on this one. What do you think?
I agree. I think people know what they want and what is needed. I think we need inspiration. I think it is tough. I don't think it's going to just happen on its own. I think we have to work at it. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little harder than we originally thought. I do have hope, though, in the young people. I do believe that, young people will understand and, cut through the static and hopefully eventually pull through. We're here to help. I'm here to do my part. And it's, a global issue. This example tonight, thanks to everyone again, to me gives me hope.
Well, so our thanks to Lang and his two wonderful proteges for their, where are you? Stand up and take a bow.
Bravo.
Please join us upstairs in the, for you, Lang.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking. So join us upstairs in the garden court right after this.
I might, just one final note, just to wrap us up. Want to, on behalf of WildAid, again, invite you to become part of our team. I think we'll be together with the Asia Society. You'll probably get an email maybe tomorrow with a link there. Invite you to learn more and feel free to engage and connect with us, anything we can do to answer any questions you have, and look forward to joining you with our family. So thank you very much, and thanks.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you.